and gentlemen, welcome back to DarkBiscuit Universe Online. Possibly not. We'll go with that for the time being. Ooh, Harley Quinn's breasts. You know, I'll tell you what, when they do the artwork for this game, they certainly had absolutely no fear whatsoever in making sure that all of the heroes, and indeed villainesses, heroines and villainesses, we'll go with that, had significant assets, let me put it that way. Not complaining. Why would I be? I'm male, last time I checked. Okay, revolver rob.
Down on our city, and the cops are no help. This ain't just a recon mission. We want it shut down before it gets any further. You up for it? Cops, heroes, and now freaking Brainiac? Kick some robot for us, huh?
Sounds good to me. So he's given me a quest to go and deal with the Brainiac stuff. Now, I'd like to issue a couple of corrections. Now, last episode, I said that, A, if you start as a villain, you start in Gotham. It's not actually true. It depends on your mentor. If you have Batman or the Joker, then you start in Gotham. If you are mentored by Lex Luthor or Superman, then you start in the main area of Metropolis. And if you are mentored by Wonder Woman or Cersei, you start off in a kind of Chinatown area of Metropolis. Different area, but there you go. So that's what actually happens. So far, I found Gotham to be awesome, but I don't really have a basis for comparison. I guess I just like Gotham and the fact that it's a little bit more down-to-earth crime-fighting stuff. I've heard there's a lot more Brainiac stuff going on in the initial Metropolis zones, but there's still a little bit here as well if you want to do that, but it allows you to dabble into a lot of different things. Plus, having the Joker as your mentor is pretty damn kick-ass, as you will discover continuing to go through the game. Now, we're gearing up quite significantly here. You get a lot of mails from various places, and a lot of them come from NPCs. They're very kind like that, like send you a little postcard, a little gift every now and again. For instance, I got this one from Harley Quinn, which allows me to play as Harley Quinn in the simulation battle arena, which we've so far failed to get any gameplay in because nobody is using it, and this beta is almost empty. Unfortunate. I would actually like to know exactly what's going on there. We're going to queue here. There's about an hour of footage in this run. I'm splitting it up into 2 episodes, and this is all done in post-production this time. Rationale behind that was there was too much mucking about. It's not so much that I was running around having fun, it's that I was confused as to where to go and things like that. So I'm sticking with post for this one. And honestly, I just want to chill out and play the game and actually focus on that rather than talking about it, and then I could do so later on. From what I can tell in the newbie zones, you do get inundated with tasks almost all the time.
The Assassins does not take applicants until they are proven worthy.
Happy assassins and so forth. Vendor, all of this nonsense. You don't get a lot from vendor trash, really, but there are other ways of making cash, as you will discover later on. And I've also discovered there's really no point in buying any of this stuff. Just, you get better rewards really quickly through the quests, so there's no point buying the basic level gear at all. It's like buying white items in World of Warcraft. You just don't do it. You'll always be able to get quest items. As regards to this guy, he's based on reputation. You have to have a certain reputation with the rogues in order to get it, and there's a lot more rep vendors in the Hall of Doom. In fact, that's almost all of what's actually in there. It's just packed full of various different faction vendors. So I don't really need any of this, and we certainly don't have the rep for it anyway. Okay, enough mucking about in here. Let's go do a little bit of questing. Right. See what I mean? Look at the size of them. Good lord, they're bigger than my head. Ugh. Well, nothing wrong with a bit of eye candy. Alright, onward we go. So, when I stopped doing yesterday's video, was it the day before? I think it was the day before, because I was doing that big 4-hour show, wasn't I? God, I was exhausted after that, but thanks to those who tuned in. Anyway, archive will be available at some point in the not-too-distant future. I just finished Joker bombing some patrol cars, and now I've got to go Joker bomb some patrol men. A little bit unpleasant, isn't it? You'll also notice that the map in this game is quite detailed. You can click on almost any area. If you're told to go to an area, you can just click its name and it will show you exactly where you need to go. Plus, you can also set a waypoint very easily. Some weird stuff goes on in this video, actually. Some incredibly bizarre things. Like, for instance, I'm fighting some guys, and then at some point, for some inexplicable reason, and I can't quite figure out why, I suddenly start doing way more damage. I don't know if it's just a piece of gear I got, but I wouldn't have thought that one bit of gear would allow you to do ridiculous amounts of damage. I mean, I'm doing fair damage here, but that's mostly because I'm using my powers an awful lot. I'm not doing simple combo attacks with my staff or anything like that. And I'm just beating them up with that. And I also noticed in this particular video And in this play session, the targeting system went completely crazy. Like, nuts. Utterly and completely nuts. And you'll notice that as we go through the combat. I don't know why. I can't really explain it, but there's another one right there. Just going off in random directions, and you might think, oh, well, that's because you haven't locked on, but I thought that was it. And I tried it later on in the video. I was right, I'm going to deliberately lock onto a target using tab, and it fires off in completely the opposite direction, even if I'm facing in the vague direction of what I'm supposed to be. I think it's here, actually, where I start doing absurd damage. And I don't really know why. I mean, look at that. See, I just absolutely chewed through that guy. I was doing way less damage earlier, and now it's suddenly almost tripled. And I haven't leveled up or anything either. This is what I don't understand. And this happens for the rest of this video as well. It's problematic because suddenly things start to get really, really easy. And it's okay to do that, I suppose, to some degree in the newbie zones, but I thought they had the balance pretty good earlier on. I was doing reasonable damage, but not crazy. I could take a good few, but not too many. Right here, though, I'm taking, like, no damage at all, and I'm just destroying absolutely everything.
Forget it. I'll never work for Falcone. This is the police.
I have no idea why, either. Just look at that. Just one shot on each. I'm actually, as far as I can tell right now, I'm sitting on infinite power as well. I'm not losing power at any point. This has got to be a bug or something, or... I mean, you'd think maybe if they buffed you, I suppose maybe they did. I'm noticing that there's a little green thing right there. There's a green heart and a green little explosion thing.
Listen up! The Big J loves him some shiny. Go get him some cop badges for his collection.
I have to wonder if that's got anything to do with it, but I don't know where those buffs came from or why I got them. The buffs switched themselves on after I killed one of those beat cops. I just don't know why. And I keep them for the rest of the video. And I ruin everyone's day with them. Which is comical, don't get me wrong. It assists me in delivering the correct form of manners to these rude and uncouth fools. But I just don't get it. I'm taking no damage at all. They're gunning me down right here and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Maybe it's a beta testing thing. Maybe they just decided, hey, we're just going to make everyone invincible for the time being. That's just, God. I don't know. Maybe some of you other guys that have been beta testing longer than me might actually know why that's happened. But hey, just know that I'm not going to be dying for the rest of this video by the looks of it. Now, you quit that right now. I got a nice little combo the last video you may have noticed, which is that spinny thing, and I do get another one here as well.
Antonio, former football player for the Gotham Knights. Wanted in connection with 4 bank robberies.
Now, these are elements of a collection. There's tons of collectibles in this game. A lot of it's lore-based, and you will gain experience and stuff for completing them, so... I believe you can also get reputation for doing so there is a benefit to actually doing it. They're not all that well hidden. You'll run straight into them pretty much all the time. Now, what I do like is the fact that they do inundate you with a variety of secondary objectives. For instance, here we're going to steal patrolman badges, steal detective badges, find a Wheaton police firefight, which you can actually kill any policeman for, as far as I can tell. You can see I got credit for it there. This isn't actually the firefight. The firefight and the fallen mobsters are off in the train yard, but you do get credit for this, and you can get your patrolman and detective badges here as well, so it's not too bad. And that green waypoint is, I believe, a safe house. Just FYI, if you were wondering what the hell was going on there. We need to go to the Gotham Freight Yard. It's nice just to be able to set a waypoint. We're talking about Assassin's Creed style here, or indeed any other number of console games. Click on a thing, set a waypoint, there you go, it'll point me straight in the direction that I need to go. WoW's put some elements of that in lately, but it's not quite as good, because you can actually waypoint a location here in the default UI, and it'll make it really simple to follow. Can't really do that in World of Warcraft. You can do it with quest objectives, but not necessarily with individual locations. It's quite handy. I suppose it matters more in this game, though, considering you're flying around a lot and you're scaling buildings, again, like Assassin's Creed, so I suppose it's logical that it's there. Plus, it's been a console staple of free-roaming games lately that you just have to have that in your game. Certainly nothing wrong with it. I think they should certainly stick with it. Okay, so we are rearming some fallen mobsters.
Some new muscle in town.
And they're very grateful.
You're okay in my book.
And why wouldn't I be, good sir? Why wouldn't I be?
Emergency.
Or should I say evil, sir?
Man down.
Annihilate everything. I think the problem with everything dying so fast with these buffs, wherever I got them from, is that I can't actually do any of my cool combos because they just die in one hit from my fireball. Assuming that my fireball actually hits. One problem I did notice that they should probably look into is line of sight is quite strict in this game, to the point where if I am shooting at a target and a friendly NPC gets in the way, then the fireball will just disappear. It happens with pretty much any projectile. So, it's not so great. Something I think does need to be dealt with, because I don't have control over those NPCs, and they tend to wander all over the place. So, more often than not, my fireball is doing nothing. That's when it's actually aimed at the right thing, and the targeting hasn't gone crazy. I think it gets even worse as we go into the video, but again, beta is beta, but it is something they definitely need to resolve. No doubt. But yeah, also you can be hurt by NPCs getting a little bit overzealous with the toxic waste barrels. Which is nice, actually. Although I have to wonder why I can't hurt NPCs if they can hurt me. Like, for instance, if I shoot a fireball and NPC gets in the way, why is he not on fire? Yet I take damage from that massive, great, stonking barrel. I don't know. No idea. Goddamn targeting. Now, you see, I am targeted on there. But seriously, did you see that? I was targeted and facing him, and yet my fireball went off in completely the opposite direction. I don't know. It is concerning, I must say. There's no doubt about that. It's very concerning that a game that is about a week and a bit off release is still suffering fairly crippling problems like this. I'm hoping that they do get that fixed, because this is a game that I do now intend to buy on release because I am having so much fun with it. I am enjoying it a huge amount. Just beating up dudes and scaling buildings and free roaming and doing little challenges and meeting up with superheroes. It's good, I mean...
Win amazing prizes. Hey, it's my good friend, the Total Stranger. I'm Ambush Bug. Here's your vault ticket. Just complete the Ambush Bug quest in your communicator, then equip the ticket, activate it, and blammo! Into the vault. Thanks for playing.
What? That's what you're probably wondering. What the hell is the vault? We covered it in a look at some of the features available, but we didn't actually say what it was. We went into it and had a look and say, oh, what is the vault? Well, the vault, as it turns out, is some weird daily game show thing. I'll show it to you, because I am able to do that. I'll show it to you a little bit later on in the video, but it's this bizarre little thing you can do on a daily basis that will get you money and sometimes some items. It's kind of like a daily quest, only... yeah... It's hard to explain. I'll show it to you when I get it. If I could actually kill anything... Fireball, no, I don't feel like going this way today. Somebody needs to teach those fireballs some manners. Look at that! Just what? And then, of course, that one got blocked by the fact that that guy's elbow was in the way. Yeah, some slacking off of the line of sight would be good.
Joker would make gag explosives. You have to admire that kind of sick mind.
Indeed. And a green staff.
Oh, now what? The apocalyptic cannons are here safe and sound, but the police have raided the warehouse. The things I do to maintain chaos in this town. Get in there and keep them away from those crates. Oh, yes. And Batty sent that psycho mob-hating huntress to investigate. Give her a love tapper 3 for me.
Having all this voice acted is awesome. No doubt about that. I have to wonder if they manage to keep it going the entire way through, because if they do, then that's great. I mean, we've had certain other MMOs that have used voice acting. WoW's starting to use more of it. About the first 20 or so levels of Agent Conan used it, as I recall, and then they stopped. But here's the thing. I wonder if they've managed to fully voice act every quest, because if they have, then they've sort of beaten Knights of the Old Republic's MMO to the punch. Pretty good when you think about it. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, I have to stop just beating up everything. It's just so damn entertaining. I just wish the guys wouldn't get in the way of my amazing fire powers. Right, let's get forward. Let's go to the warehouse, shall we? Sounds like a good plan. However, before we do that, I did forget we've got to hand in for Professor Daft. Now, a lot of these quests can be handed in remotely. These can't.
Hey! Love how you left the blood on the badges. Real classy. You'll go far.
This is the weird thing about this. You can get the hand in, and you do the hand in, but then you have to go to your journal to complete it. It's like, what? I didn't even know. Now, before we do any of this warehouse stuff, let me show you the vault. Okay, so I'm going to equip this vault ticket, use the vault ticket, and we should be able to gain access to the vault. Apparently this vault ticket will give you an extra chance at it, and you should gain one of these by default every single day. Use this item for an extra trip to the vault. And there's your on-duty menu, so that gives you access to a lot of things. And here we go, into the vault, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you exactly what this is. Like I say, it's this weird kind of daily quest that has a bunch of rewards.
Welcome, welcome, one and all, to Joker's Room of Fun, Mayhem, and Prizes. What will it be? Something to flatten your opponents? Or just some useless crap? Who knows? You pays your money and you takes your chances. Break the presents and get your prizes.
Indeed. This is just weird. I have a feeling that you can probably die in here, at least if I didn't have this weird-ass invincibility buff that I somehow got a hold of. I assume you've probably got to be dodging the explosive bombs and things. Blow up the presents and you get a bunch of cool stuff out of them. Now, in this case, I got a lot of cash and I got an item at the end of it as well. And you can do this on a daily basis, so... I love the theme of it, though, because, hey, it is a crazy-ass Joker's Funhouse filled with explosive bombs and big exploding presents. It's perfect, isn't it? That's exactly what you'd expect. I have to wonder if the hero one is significantly more boring. I'm thinking it probably is. Oh, well, never mind. Aside from that, I mean, that's really all there is to it as far as I can tell. Blow up the presents. When you blow up the last one, you seem to get a final reward, assuming that you manage to do that without dying to the bombs. Of course I'm not going to do, because I can't be hurt right now. Yes, they have the common courtesy not to interrupt my video. I'm teaching them well. I'm certainly doing a better job than those dastardly heroes getting in the way of our fun. We certainly can't have that now, can we? I'm still feeling a little bit sore after my beatdown at the hands of that level 23 in the last video. PvP is hard, I'm told. PvP in this game, I've heard good things about it and I've heard bad things. Nice green. I think we're about done here.
That's it. Game's over. Step along, nothing to see. Get going before my good mood wears off. That means now.
Indeed. I love being the villain. But yeah, the PvP is supposed to be quite dynamic and enjoyable, but it is suffering a little bit from stunlock syndrome. A lot of hard disables in this game, and as a result, you're forced to use your block ability. You remember you can hold down block to break out of a stun? Well, that actually spends some of your power bar, so that's really bad in PvP, apparently. But otherwise, from what I've heard from people, it is kind of cool. Now, this right here, this is a style. Now, styles, they aren't actually items, but they can change what your current items look like. So we're going to go and have a look at this. Now, I think this was a back protection thing. So if we go all the way down to back, you'll notice the styles that I've got up there. Got nothing for shoulders. They don't even have any shoulders yet. Go all the way down to back. You'll notice what we have here. There, so I could... No! I'm thinking not. Thank you very much. Those are the styles that I currently have access to, and I can switch between them at will. So there are an awful lot more styles of item available than there are actually items in the game, as far as I can tell. It's good. It's good to be able to customize, and there are more styles available in the game than what you had access to when you created your character. So maybe, just maybe, you can find ways to refine your look. And again, it is important. It is vitally important. It's a superhero MMO, for God's sake. Your character and your costume and your identity is almost everything. Okay, going to bring this one to a close right here, and it's going to be rapidly followed up by the next part. I'm probably uploading this part right now while I commentate the other. Like I said, I do have a big chunk, an hour of footage, so I want to just put that out in 2 parts for you. Cut out all of the nonsense, because I know people like the live stuff, but particularly in this video, I was mucking around with all sorts of things. Like this, for instance, I'm just looking through the menus. Oh, look, it's the headline again, blah, blah, blah. So, like I say, we don't need any of that. I'll be right back with the next part, folks.